Hey, YouTube pipe smokers. The CoffeePot Codger here. My good friend Nate.
Hello.
Nate, what's your IndianaNate?
IndianaNate, yeah, that's my YouTube, Twitter, Xbox
Everything?
Live account. Yeah, pretty much everything.
Yeah, all the socials?
Yeah, except I'm not Facebook.
No, yeah.
Because I hate that crap.
Yeah, I get that.
But, you know, Snapchat, Instagram.
IndianaNate.
IndianaNate.
I'm the CoffeePot Codger on pretty much everything except for Twitter. Twitter was too long of a name for some reason. So, Anyway, we're so glad to have you guys. This is my second video, our first video together. We have wanted to do a podcast, YouTube type thing, and then we both stumbled upon the YouTube pipe community, and I thought, heck, let's do YouTube. Let's make some videos. So, welcome YTPC. I've got several subscribers so far after my first video, so I was pretty shocked by that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and we're here celebrating International Pipe Smoking Day. It's like Christmas for pipe smokers.
Yeah, it's my favorite holiday of the year.
Is it?
Yeah, it really is. It's like International Pipe Smoking Day, and then like Easter. I love Easter.
Why Easter?
Well, my family does like egg hunts and stuff, you know. So when I was a kid, I loved hunting eggs, and now that I'm older, I like hiding eggs to a point where children can't find them.
Yes, that is
I find it to be enjoyable.
It's very enjoyable.
Yeah. They're just looking around. And
I have 4 kids. They've never found any eggs. I actually don't hide eggs. I just tell them that they're the greatest Easter egg hider ever.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we're celebrating our favorite holiday. I got my Pipes and Cigars calendar this year, and I saw that it's International Pipe Smoking Day a couple weeks ago, and I got a hold of Nate and said, hey, we really need to get together. I mean, we're pipe smoking brothers. We need to get together and celebrate.
Brothers of the Briar.
Brothers of the Briar.
Or the Cob.
Yeah. Actually, we're both smoking Cobs right now. With that being said, what are you smoking? What are you smoking it out
of? Well, I'm enjoying some Rivendell from the Country Squire. I've tried several of the Country Squire's blends, and they're all of them that I've had so far have been very, very enjoyable. Rivendell happens to be one of my favorites. I really like Old Toby. Second Breakfast was good. Green River. I just got a couple of the tins of their, I think it's their 50th anniversary tins. I think they were made by Sutliff, but I haven't cracked them yet. Looking forward to trying that. Anyway, but it's in a Dagner Diamond from Missouri Meerschaum, and I have a Vermont Freehand stem that I ordered specifically for this pipe. I love the design of this pipe because you have the original Diamond Dagner, Dagner, not Diamond, but the Dagner.
I don't have that. I'm getting it, though.
What's that?
That one, for those of you that can't see across the room where my pipe rack is the Moonshine Poker.
Okay.
It's close. It looks similar.
You're right. I'm sorry. So I do love that design of the Dagner, the original. But because of the beard and the mustache and everything, I'm not a fan of really short pipes. I have this terrible fear of singeing off my mustache, and I don't know. I like everything, the flame, the smoke. I like everything to be further away from my face. So when they came out with this design of the longer one, when I first noticed it was maybe November or something. I'm not sure when they came out with it, but I absolutely loved it.
I really enjoy notes of singed beard hair in my pipe smoking. So, in spite of the fact that I'm smoking this Elf Cobbett by Missouri Meerschaum with also Rivendell, I picked this pipe because I'm smoking Rivendell.
Home of the Elves.
So, I couldn't pick a better pipe for this blend. But I prefer shorter pipes. I'm not as manly as Nate. My beard leaves much to be desired.
That's not true.
I have beard envy, and I struggle with it. I have a hard time sleeping at night sometimes.
Wow. Because
my kids think your beard's more awesome than mine. And yeah. Can we cut and start over? I can't keep this lit right now for some reason. Well, too much talking, not enough smoking.
Yeah.
Fight at YouTube. But yeah, I'm smoking a rather long pipe for me. I don't smoke church wardens a whole lot. This is like a semi-church warden, I guess. But smokes really nice and cool out of this. I love this Rivendell. It's my favorite from Country Squire.
Your favorite so far?
Favorite so far, yes. Yeah. I do like Old Toby an awful lot. I've ordered a pound of that recently. You got me turned on to Second Breakfast. That's a very good blend.
Yeah, I like to think I got you turned on to Rivendell as well. Didn't I give you a taste of Rivendell before you ordered it?
Actually, all three of them. Old Toby,
I think
Rivendell.
I think I did. Yeah. No, it's Country Squire, and I'm sure most of the people that would be watching this have listened to that podcast, the Country Squire, and JD. I enjoy them because, especially when I was first starting out, I listened to a lot of like their 101 videos and videos where they talk about how to help refine your palate and that kind of thing, and just going through different blends. I really found their videos to be educational and helpful starting out. And I actually called there one time because I was asking about a blend. They had a blend on their website that they said was in stock, and when I tried to buy it, it wouldn't let me, so I called to talk to them about it. And JD actually picked up the phone, and I felt like I was like starstruck. Like, and it was funny because he picked it up and he didn't say that he was just like, Country Squire, how can I help you, whatever. And I asked him the question, he gave me the answer, and then I immediately said, "Is this John David?" And he was like, "Yes, it is." And I was like, "I love you so much."
Fangirling.
Yeah, I did. I literally did. I was like, I couldn't believe it. But no. The people there, they do such a good job. I got some of their figgy pudding from this last Christmas, and oh my God, I freaking love that stuff. It literally, to me, I think it smells and tastes like a Tootsie Roll. I don't like Tootsie Rolls necessarily, but it is fan-freaking-tastic. It's for aromatics. It's incredible.
I think it's the one I wouldn't try because
I tried to get you to try it.
Disgusting.
You wouldn't do it.
He told me, he said, this smells like a Tootsie Roll. And I smelled it, and it smelled exactly like a Tootsie Roll. Therefore, I refused to smoke it. I still, to this day, refuse to smoke it. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. It is delicious, though.
I mean, there's been some things that we've convinced each other to try that, I mean, you didn't like Latakia for the longest time.
The longest time? I think it was almost 10 months.
What was it? Margate?
Margate,
that I got you to try? I kept telling you to try plum pudding, and you wouldn't try plum pudding.
Well,
even though you had a bunch of it.
When I first started smoking the pipe, I was trying to find new blends, and just I was so enthralled with the whole experience of it that I wanted to, literally, I just wanted to try everything I get my hands on. So I got a bunch of English blends and Burley blends and vapors and just Virginias, aromatics. I was trying everything I could. Mm-hmm. So I got one thing you can't buy anymore. Everybody knows Frog Morton. So I had asked on Reddit about blends that would be kind of similar to Frog Morton since you can't get it anymore. And somebody said Northwoods from Boswell. So I went on Boswell's website and I ordered some Northwoods, and I was able to actually pick up, back then, this was would have been 2021 because I started smoking in 2020 in December. But so I was able to get a tin of Squadron Leader, and I got 2 ounces of Northwoods from Boswell. And I had tried some vapors, I had tried a Burley or two, and I had tried a lot of aromatics, and I loved all of them. And I loaded up that Northwoods, and I smoked it, and I was like, this tastes like an old woman's perfume. And also I had tried it out of a very old pipe. So I thought, in my head, I was like, well, I must not have cleaned this pipe appropriately. I'm going to try something else. So then I loaded up Squadron Leader in a brand new pipe and smoked it. And I was like, wow, this also tastes like an old woman's perfume. So then I went on Reddit and I was like, hey, and I explained the whole situation. Why does this taste like an old woman's perfume? And somebody in the comments was like, that's a Latakia. A lot of people say Latakia tastes florally or perfumey. And I had looked through the ingredient lists of both those blends compared to every other blend that I had tried, and Latakia was the only one that was in those blends that wasn't in the other blends. So that's when I decided that I didn't like Latakia. So I spent the next 10 months, almost 8 months, I think.
I think we end up. I know you and I talked about it that when I had bought some estate pipes, they had a ghost in them that was just awful.
Yeah.
And it tasted like an old lady's perfume. But yet, when I smoked Latakia through fresh pipes, I didn't get that same reaction. And so I had got on Reddit and I had found that they were saying that perfumey taste came from the essences put in Lakeland blends.
Mm-hmm.
So what I had wondered, and we talked about this, was if maybe your old pipe that you had tried had been used for Gowith Lakeland blends.
Right.
And then your next go at Latakia blend was Squadron Leader, which is a Lakeland blend.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's where that came from. But I got him on the right and right. This guy loves Latakia now.
Freaking love it.
So I think it all worked out in the end.
It did.
But,
and you know, a lot of people have said online too that they also didn't like Latakia starting out. That sometimes, and that's why I had purchased a lot of English blends, and I had this shoebox. I put all of my Latakia blends in this shoebox. I just threw them in the closet, and I said I'm just going to try it again in a year, and see if I like it, because you know your tastes change through time, and whenever you grow to appreciate and the different tobaccos, as you're going along, you can evolve in your preferences. And then whenever you, well, I cannot remember what you were smoking that day, but you had Margate and something else. And it was the first time that we had ever bought an Esoterica. You had bought Esoterica, and you had Margate, and you were like, there was something else you had that day that I can't remember what it was though. But you said you should try this, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. And I tried that Margate, and I was like, oh my.
Plum pudding?
It might have been plum pudding. I can't remember what it was. But I tried the Margate, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is phenomenal.
It was great.
And then I thought, well, it must be just because it's an Esoterica blend. I probably won't like other blends. So then I went home and tried. I don't remember what I tried again. It might have been the Northwoods again. It might have been. But I tried it, and I was like, oh no, I love this. And ever since then, I've just been obsessed with English blends. I absolutely love them. Quiet Nights right now is it's my, I don't know, my favorite, absolute favorite. I love Quiet Nights.
Quiet Nights is a fantastic blend. I wish they made it in bulk. I keep telling you that.
I know.
It's
International Pipe Smokers Day. I ordered a pound of Quiet Nights because it was on sale. I've been waiting. I even told you, I was like, I'm going to wait until IPSD Day, and I'm going to order a bunch of Quiet Nights because you can't buy in bulk.
It's true. So, we both mentioned Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell these folks how we met?
Well, it was through Reddit. I was scrolling through, and somebody had made a post. They were saying they had a picture of a pipe, and the title said "Greetings from Southern Indiana," and then I clicked on it, and a bunch of people were like, "Hey, I live in Indiana too," and they're like, "Greetings from all these different towns around Indiana." So I live in Anderson, and I said, "Greetings from Anderson," and then you commented on my post and said, "Hey, I'm in Daleville. We should get together and share a pipe." And I believe you said, "I've never run into another pipe smoker in the wild," is what I think you said specifically. And I was like, "Yeah, we totally should." And then we had a little bit of a chat, and then we decided that we would meet up and have a pipe together. And you invited me over to your house on a Sunday to have a pipe in your greenhouse. Yeah. I believe it was raining that day.
It ended up raining that day.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty nice. It was comfortable in there.
Yeah.
It was about this time last year. It was almost a year ago.
Yeah, well, it was March.
It was March, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a greenhouse that's a very good sized greenhouse. It's 14 by 14, I think. It's enough for us to go out there and sit in cooler weather and stay a little bit warm.
Yeah.
And enjoy a little bit of sun in the cold weather. And so I reached out to Nate. We were going to meet up at a cigar lounge and smoke pipes.
Yeah, we talked about Carmack and Noblesville, I think.
Yeah, so Nate and I we live north of Noblesville, and it just seemed weird for you and I both to drive south to meet.
Yeah.
So we were originally going to do that, but I was like, hey, why don't you just come over to my place? So I gave a complete stranger my address, and then I said, well, let's meet at 1 o'clock because I'm not going to be home until then. And then sheer horror hit me because I had just told a stranger that I wasn't going to be at my house until 1 o'clock, and I gave them my address. So I actually contemplated not going to church that Sunday because I didn't want my house to get robbed.
Well, from my point of view, I met a stranger on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and we agreed to meet in a public place, which is
Don't
safe.
meet a stranger on the internet. Well, can.
Yeah, it worked
Just
out.
be safe.
Yeah. Which I thought meeting in a public place was a safe thing to do. And I was like, okay, I'll meet this stranger in a public place. He's not going to murder me in public, is what I thought.
Yeah.
So then when it approached, I think the day before, you were like, hey, we could meet in CarMax if you want to, but I have a greenhouse. You could just meet me at my house if you want to. And I was like, okay, he's taking it from a public place to now on his private property.
That puts off serial killer vibes.
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay, so I was literally like worried about it just because you're a stranger on the internet. So I didn't tell my wife exactly what I was doing necessarily, but I did tell my brother. I was like, this is the address I'm going to. His name is Justin, and if anything happens, this is the address. This is where I'm going to be at 1 o'clock, and that's how I approached it because I thought you might murder me, you know?
I do put off serial killer vibes.
Well, online you do. It worked out though because we spent that day having a couple of pipes and just chit chatted, and then became fast friends. You know, been sharing pipes ever since.
Yeah. A couple times a month.
Yeah, probably, yeah. One thing I really like about having a friend who smokes a pipe is you get to try other blends. Like, you have blends that I don't have, I have blends that you don't have. We get to try stuff like, I'm a huge fan of Watch City cigar out of Massachusetts. Ernie over there, I've had a couple of email correspondence with him, and he is just a fantastic guy, like to talk to. I think I annoy him sometimes because I ask him a lot of questions. But I've turned you on to like Captain Boomers. Is a great blend. I'm not sure what the rating is on Captain Boomers. I think it might be 5 stars on their website, but it's like an English aromatic, and the room note on it and the flavor that you get from it's incredible. I have just an absurd amount of Watch City blends in my suitcase.
His suitcase is a thing of wonder. It's a vintage suitcase that you stole off an old lady, I think.
Oh no, my dad bought that brand new in 1958 when he was going to seminary.
It's a cool suitcase. He's got like a divider in it. It's got all those jars of tobacco in it, and every time he comes over to my house, he wanders in like a homeless person with his beat up old suitcase and
like a hobo.
Like a hobo.
I got my backpack and my suitcase.
Tobacco toting hobo. Can we say that on YouTube?
Yeah, I think hobo's still PC.
Is it still PC?
I think so.
But so we met on Reddit. We have a very similar background as far as pipe smoking. We started about the same time.
Yeah. Really started about the same time.
Yeah. So in my last video, I said that I had been smoking for 4 years, and then after I posted the video, I was like, wait, no, I've been smoking off and on for about 7 years. And I had talked about the Missouri Meerschaum hardwood that I got, and that squeaky chair.
I know.
That squeaky chair.
I tried not to lean.
We'll edit it out. No, we won't. This is all raw, baby. All raw. But yeah, so I had got this Missouri Meerschaum hardwood. It was looking back now, it was a fine smoking pipe.
Mm.
I've smoked one since, and they're fine pipes.
I have a couple.
But I had the super value cherry Cavendish.
That's the
It
mistake.
was like cough syrup with
It's-
like cigarette tobacco.
it's
It was
so
just
bad.
awful. And I worked off that same pouch for like 4 or 5 years. It sat out in my unheated and unair conditioned garage throughout the seasons of all 4 or 5 years. And I worked off that same pouch. I'd smoke a couple bowls, try to smoke a couple bowls. I would like blister my tongue up. I burned it so bad. And I just couldn't. I wanted to smoke a pipe so bad. And I finally watched some YouTube videos because I thought, I will watch YouTube for everything else. Surely somebody on YouTube can teach me how to smoke a pipe.
Everything's on YouTube.
And Mutton Chop Piper had his little video series on the breath technique. He talked about different blends and stuff like that. And I know I don't really use his technique anymore, but it did. It helped me understand packing a bowl and smoking. Helped me understand that it's okay for your pipe to go out. It helped me to understand that I was either packing too light or too tight. There was just a whole lot of knowledge that I learned from that. And that's when my pipe journey really took off. And that was in, I think, December of 2020. About the same time you really started getting back into it seriously.
Yeah.
But ever since then, I've just got a guy at work that got me started with a lot of samples. He gave me samples of some Mac Baron blends, some Seattle Pipe Club blends, some John Cotton's something Burley. I don't remember what it was, but that one knocked me on my feet, off my feet.
Yeah.
But then I stumbled across Carter Hall and Prince Albert. And that's when I really, those things just light and stay lit so well. They're not the greatest blend in the world. I like them a lot. They're easy.
They're great blends.
They're just easy-going blends.
They've been around for years because they're good blends.
Yeah. But that's what, honestly, Carter Hall and Prince Albert are really what helped me get the hang of pipe smoking.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I moved from Indiana. I moved to Albany, New York, and I lived there for a couple of years. And when I was there was when I started smoking. And through a progression of trying different types of tobacco, I ended up with a pipe at one point in time. I bought a little basket briar from a little pipe shop over that way, and I bought a tin of Sutliff's Molto Dolce, which honestly to this day, I still love that blend. Like it's a solid aromatic. It's really good. But and it's one of the only ones that my wife, like when I come home after I smoked it, she doesn't hate the smell. Like it kind of smells. She told me that it smelled like a vanilla baguette when I was home, and I was like, hey, I'll take that. Or not a baguette, a vanilla biscotti, like a cookie, like a. But anyway, so I smoked that, but going around, going out drinking with your friends when you're in your 20s, everyone's going out for a cigarette break, and you're packing around a pipe with your pouch of tobacco and your tamper and your lighter. And the reason I liked it is because I could pack a smaller bowl and just have a little bit of a smoke with them. But then it's like I'm carrying around this little purse of stuff that I have to carry everywhere. So then I just quit smoking the pipe just literally out of inconvenience. And so I put it down and I quit smoking for a long time. And then in December of 2020, I don't remember if I just stumbled across a pipe Reddit or what happened, but I started getting back into the idea of wanting to get back into smoking, just had that desire because the whole process of smoking, the nuances of it, the ritual of getting your pipe set up and getting it going, and it really, like, I remember back in the day when I did it, it gave me time to think about stuff. I would use it almost as a way of meditating. Like it just gave me time to relax and think about something, and whatever I was working on, was with a paper or whatever it was. So I was kind of missing that, and so I bought a pipe and a packet of tobacco, But I did not do any research, and I went to just a little discount tobacco store in Anderson, and I bought this like little crappy like Chinese made plastic pipe with a metal bowl. I'm sure not even intended for tobacco to begin with. And I bought a pack of Borkum Riff, like the whiskey Cavendish or whatever it is, the whiskey. And I went into my garage at my house, and I packed up the bowl, and I lit it, and I started smoking it, and immediately I was like, this is terrible. It was really dry. It was just awful. And after that first bowl, I was like, I remember it being a lot better than this. This is not good. So I did some research. That's when I got on Reddit, and I did the exact same thing you did. I went to YouTube. But first I went to Reddit and I did some research. I got some ideas. I ended up buying a little Dr. Grabo pipe. And the first 10 I bought was Autumn Evening and
Great blend.
Cornell Deal. And it is a really good blend. It's a good aromatic. And the reason I bought it is because online somebody said that it's one of the few aromatics that tastes like it smells. And I remember I could not find that 10 that I had bought back in the day. I couldn't find it. So I bought this Autumn Evening, and I bought the Grabo, and I went out and smoked it, and I was like, this is what I missed. This is good. So then that opened up some doors, and I asked some more questions on Reddit, got some ideas from some other blends, and then I started doing some research, and I ended up finding Multi Dolce again. I remember the picture that was on there. It's like the Last Supper on the front of it, like Jesus and everybody. And I was like, oh, that's the blend I had. That's the 10 I had. So I got that again, and just like you, Mud Chop Hyper. Whenever I was trying to figure out how to pack it, because that was my biggest problem back in the day. When I remembered when I was like, in New York, I could never keep my pipe lit. And I thought, I must be doing something wrong because this thing's going out all the time. And I would sit there and just puff, 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 because if I didn't just keep puffing, it would go out. But then with the help of Mud Chop, I realized that, there's ways to pack. There's ways to, it's okay to relight. There's no problem if you're relighting. That's part of the experience of it. But if you pack it appropriately, and then I learned about some blends tend to be more moist than other blends anyway. So with Multi Dolce, like I'll if I'm going to smoke it, like if I wake up and I'm like, I'm going to have some Multi Dolce tonight, I'll take some out and I'll throw it on a piece of paper in my room. I'll just let it sit there for a few hours, let it dry out a bit before I pack it. Because it burns better. But since 2020, December of 2020, so it's been just a little over a year now, and I don't think I've ever been more passionate about anything in my entire life than I am about pipe smoking. Like,
I agree.
I love it, and after talking to you, when we first started talking, I went out and got some Prince Albert. You actually gave me a pack of Prince Albert. That's where I got my first Prince Albert from, was from you. And then I went to a little shop in Terre Haute, where I'm originally from, and got found some Carter Hall, like this, like the little packs of it or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so I got some Carter Hall and some Prince Albert, but
luxury pouches is what they're called.
Oh, luxury
pouches.
Yeah. But I will say that to this day, like, I love just a plethora of different types of tobacco. I love tasting different blenders and different types, but there's almost nothing better than a bowl of Prince Albert in the morning with a cup of coffee to start your day out. I mean, there's just something about it. It's delicious.
Yeah, I like Prince Albert in the mornings with a cup of coffee, and for some reason I like Carter Hall in the evenings. Something about Prince Albert is more of like a slight, almost like a pancake without syrup. Like it's plain. There's not much to it, but it's got a sweetness. Yeah. And Carter Hall is more like mashed potatoes. It's still plain, but it has like a somewhat savory.
A little more savory.
A little more savory.
Yeah.
So that's why I get one in the morning. I like one in the evening, but
and I think that's might be why I like Prince Albert a little bit more than Carter Hall.
Because of the sweetness.
Yeah.
It's got like a chocolatey, slight cocoa taste to it. Everybody says it's an aromatic, which I understand that it is. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't say it's like an aromatic like Rivendell or...
Oh, no, yeah.
Especially not like 1Q. Or
Listen, whenever I first started smoking a pipe, again, in 2020, and I got that autumn evening, it was delicious. The next thing I bought, I think after autumn evening, I got a tin of Escudo, a tin of Elizabethan, and I got a little pack of 1Q because everyone, like, somebody on Reddit said, like, 1Q is almost universally accepted as being, like, the most popular tobacco on earth. So I was like, okay, let's try it. From the first time I ever tried it, I cannot stand 1Q. I've never liked it.
you tried mixing it and things?
No, I haven't because I didn't like it.
One of my favorite mixes is Carter 1Q. Half Carter, half 1Q.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I call it Carter Q. It's really unique.
Yeah.
It's original.
Yeah.
Patent pending.
It's a good name. I feel like we should tell them what we're drinking.
Oh, yeah.
So they can ridicule us.
This is this is new to me. I was walking around. What is that store in Nora? Total Wine.
Yeah,
I was walking around Total Wine, which if you haven't been to Total Wine, you're a alcohol person, an alcohol aficionado,
Or an alcoholic.
or an alcoholic. If you're an alcoholic, don't go to Total Wine. Total enabler. But they have a section there from Indiana makers, and this is Starlight Distillery, Carl T. Huber's signature Indiana straight bourbon whiskey. It is 92 proof, has an age statement of 4 years on it. It is selected by Master Distiller B. Huber, batch 0223. It is made in Bourbon, Indiana. I believe it's named after Lizzie Borden, maybe? I don't know.
Where is Borden, Indiana?
I have no idea. It's some hick town, probably. Most of Indiana's a hick town.
That's true. And if I haven't heard of it, it must be small. Because I'm IndianaNate.
It says, Carl T. is our small batch signature bourbon, named after 4th generation family member, Carl Theodore Huber. This bourbon is sweet mash distilled on our pot stills, aged a minimum of 4 years in a new 53-gallon charred American oak barrel. A blend of our 3-grain and 4-grain mash bills. 60% corn, 20% rye, and 20% malted barley. If you do your math, that's the 3-grain. The 4-grain is 51% corn, 20% rye, 20% malted barley, and 9% wheat. Family owned and farmed since 1843, distilled and aged, bottled by Starlight Distillery.
1843?
That's a good year. I don't know what happened in 1843. They started making whiskey, apparently.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Starlight Distillery, but that's a really good whiskey.
It's a really good whiskey.
It's caramely, vanilla-y.
Yeah. I have to say, this guy has an incredible nose.
It is rather.
There's been times when I've handed him like different blends, and I'll say, "Tell me what you smell in this," and he completely exhales, takes the lid off, and just engulfs the aroma of a tobacco, and he can literally name like every type. He'll go through and say, "It smells like I definitely get some Virginias, maybe a little burley." But he's always right. Like I've always been very impressed with your ability to sniff things out.
Oh, thank you. I got quite the sniffer.
I don't have that ability. I just, anytime I smell it, I'm like, yeah, it smells like tobacco.
That's one of the things when I first got into it. I enjoyed the snobbery, I guess, the pretentiousness somewhat.
Oh yeah.
But I also enjoyed the simplicity of it. Like, I can enjoy both sides of it. I can consider myself a pretentious pipe smoker at times, and also with whiskey. But then there are times where, like, there's times where I just want to sit down with some Jim Beam and some Carter Hall. Like, You know, ridicule me if you'd like. I do enjoy whiskey with my pipe tobacco.
As so many do.
As so many do, yes.
Some people we have found are very much against mixing hard alcohol or spirits with tobacco. Apparently, it can wreck your palate and make it so that you cannot enjoy and distinguish the flavors of tobacco, is what we've been told on Reddit.
On Reddit, yeah. I took quite the browbeating.
Yeah.
Over enjoying a dram of scotch.
How dare you?
How dare I? I don't even remember the guy. I know you do.
Yeah,
I've got no hard feelings. It is what it is.
I check his account every day.
The only question I want to ask him, show me on this doll where Borkum Riff hurt you. Whiskey and tobacco don't belong together.
I will say he's a very knowledgeable guy. I've seen him post a lot of stuff. I've seen him comment on a lot of other posts, and he always has very insightful and intelligent things to say. So, I don't know. I literally have no idea who he is as a person, but I kind of get the idea that he might be just an older kind of guy that...
Very opinionated.
Yeah, very opinionated, very set in his ways. You know, some people get staunch and kind of like what they believe in. And they get to a point where they don't think that other people should do things differently because from their experience and from what they've learned throughout the years that this is the right way to do something. And what we're doing with enjoying whiskey with pipe tobacco might not be the right way to do something, but we enjoy it. And that's really the most important thing. Like, especially with something like Rivendell from Country Squire, like, it's not a super complicated blend. It's a very delicious aromatic. It's very easy to smoke. It's easy on the mouth. It doesn't have a lot of bite to it. And I personally don't feel like we're losing anything by enjoying a little bit of whiskey with it. If it was a really complicated... Okay, I will say, honestly, that if I were smoking something like Frogmorton or something that's like a rarity, I might want to take more time to just really concentrate on the blend.
I agree.
And, you know, take a moment to smoke it and enjoy it and kind of go through the steps and go through the nuances of it and kind of figure out the taste and everything without it being impeded by alcohol or literally anything else. You know what I mean? It's not just the fact that alcohol wrecks it, but certain types of food, like anything. But
yeah, like you wouldn't want to eat like something super spicy before you...
Right, exactly.
Before you enjoyed a rarity.
Right, like some
2014 Penzance, you know.
Right.
Eat some habanero wings right before you smoke some well-aged Penzance. Or
I have to say that the people that I have found in the community so far, pipe smokers, apart from a few snobs, they have been so incredibly kind and so incredibly just welcoming. Knowing that I'm a new person, I posted a post a while back that was like my 6 months. This is what I've collected over 6 months, and I put out all my tobacco and pipes at the time that I had collected in a 6 month period of time. So I mean, like I said, I started in December of 2020, so this was probably a post in June on Reddit, and from that post, somebody posted on there and was like, said something along the lines of, like, this is a good example of how you can get a nice cellar going without having to try to get the unobtainable tobaccos anymore. Because I don't have any old school McClellan or any kind of like rare tobaccos really. I didn't have any Esoterica at the time. I had no McClellans or anything like that. This guy commented about it.
You do now, though.
I do now.
Yeah.
Mostly thanks to you. And with my esotericas and stuff. This guy is like a savant when it comes to getting esoterica tobacco. I don't need... anyway. So, this guy hit me up on Reddit, and he was like... This gentleman that said this, I responded to him, and I said, hey, thanks for saying that. I've noticed in the past, like, I've seen these tobaccos for sale at other places, but I can't bring myself to spend the amount of money that people are asking for. Like, like $100 for a can of tobacco. It seems like a lot. So he asked me, like, what are you looking for? And I told him, honestly, I really wanted to try some Christmas cheer because at the time, I didn't like Latakia. Was like very much against Latakia. I tried it a few times. I didn't enjoy it. So I told him Christmas cheer was something that I was very interested in. I really wanted to try it. So this guy, I'd never talked to him in my entire life until this point in time. And he was like, well, if you want to give me your address, I'll send you some stuff. Again, sketchy. He could have came and murdered me and my family. But I was willing to take that risk. So I gave him my address, and he mailed me, like, that 2014 Penzance that I shared with you, which was freaking phenomenal. Really good. Really good. And he gave me some Christmas cheer to try. He ended up giving me
some aged Escudo.
Oh my God, yeah. He gave me that. It was like 2012 Escudo, I think it was, or 2014 maybe, also Escudo. And that was actually the first one I tried of that batch he gave me of all that stuff. I tried the Escudo first because I'd had it before. And I wanted to compare aged tobacco, because I'd never had aged tobacco again. I'd only been smoking for 6 months. So that old Escudo, I smoked it, and I immediately messaged him. And I was like, this is insane. Like, it's incredible, the difference between, because Escudo was one of the first tins that I bought. And the difference between just regular fresh Escudo and a well-aged, first of all, the color, it's like black. Like, when you get the aged Escudo, the little slices of it, they're black. And the flavor is insane. And he responded, and he was like, yeah, like, aged Escudo is almost transcendent. Like, it's phenomenal. And it really is. But that's just saying, most of the interactions I've had with other pipe smokers and people on Reddit have just been phenomenal. Like, I have yet to find another group, especially on Reddit. You get on Reddit and you find the biggest freaking a-holes. Like, you can say anything in any other subreddit, and people are it's just trolls nonstop. But the pipe tobacco subreddit, not always, but most of the time, is a very welcoming and very informative, and everyone just seems to be pretty freaking nice. I really, really have had almost nothing but positive experiences on the subreddit. It's been really nice.
Agreed. I've had so much good interaction on that subreddit. I've never had anybody go sugar daddy on me and send me all sorts of rarities like Christmas cheer and so on, but I think that was a ploy. I think that was Frank up at Reigel's in Fort Wayne that sent you those because he wanted you to come buy that Christmas cheer that he had up there.
Well, it worked because I did.
You did, yes. I bought all the Frog Morton he had, and you bought almost all the Christmas cheer he had, didn't you?
Yeah, no,
Did you buy 2 tins?
I bought 1 tin.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you were gonna buy a tin, but somebody else came in and picked it up, maybe. Because you thought I was gonna buy 2, and I didn't end up buying 2.
Yeah, I was gonna buy it, and that older fella walked up and just swiped it off the counter and decided to buy it. Yeah. Obviously, I've forgiven him at this point because I completely forgot about that. But
I think about it every day.
No, apparently I'm a savant at finding esoterica.
Yeah.
I can sniff esoterica. I can just find the shops that have it. I don't call ahead or anything. Like, I just happened to stumble upon it. I mean, I found it. I'm not going to tell you where I found it. Never mind. Because then it'll just disappear.
Right. But
So,
you found it.
it shall remain nameless. It was somewhere here in Indiana.
3 different places, I feel like you found it. I
3
know
different
2
places.
for sure, but was it 3?
Yeah. I'm not going to mention them, though, because
Don't.
it's my honey hole. Yeah.
I will say that Mutton Chop actually visited one of them in a YouTube video.
Don't tell them that.
Well, it was like several years ago, so.
Yeah. Don't tell them that he visited Briar and Burley in Bloomington.
That's
he
not even the
also
one.
visited Pipe Puffers in Greenwood, because that would tell them where I got it, and I don't want them to know where I got it.
Okay, well, I won't tell them those
Because
things.
now they'll go buy all of it, so that I don't have to explain to my wife why there's a $1,200 charge on my credit card anymore. No, I've amassed quite the collection. I'm done buying for a while. I keep saying that, but I think I am actually done.
You know, I said that before I PSD. I was like, you know what? We even had a conversation about it. I was like, I'm done. I've gotten like I even said I was like I'm only gonna buy bulks from now on because
You did, yes.
the tin stuff like, and it's just been a lie.
It's all a lie.
It is because I convinced myself that I'm done. This is my problem: is that I'm in search of like, much like the people in Lord of the Rings. I'm looking for the one tobacco to rule them all. You know, one tobacco to find them.
I feel like you do that weekly, though.
One tobacco to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. And that's true, though. Like, weekly, I'm looking. Like, I have tins of stuff that I've never tried, and then I buy more tins of stuff that I've never tried. Because but I'm just always looking for like my favorite blend. And weekly, I text you and I'm like, this is my favorite blend. This is the best thing I've ever tried.
His favorite word is fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Yes, I get those text messages at least once a week. Have you ever tried this? No, I haven't. I tried it, and it's wonderful. It's fantastic. It's probably my new favorite blend.
Probably my new favorite blend.
Yes.
Yeah. I just feel like for the first year, specifically, I guess I can say this because I've been at it for a year and 1 month now.
A year and 1 month.
So
happy anniversary.
Thank you. For the first year, I was literally just trying everything I could. And it happened a lot where I would try something new and I'm like, this is my new favorite blend. But then also, like, sometimes you have a bowl of something and it's incredible. And you're like, wow, this is amazing. And then you try it again a couple days later and you're like, this isn't as good as it was the first time. I wonder what changed. And then you try it again and you're like, I mean, that's okay, but it's not fantastic. And we've had that experience with a couple of blends from people that we love. Like I said, like Watch City. But then sometimes you pick up a blend and you try it and you're like, that's pretty good. And then you go and you smoke something else. And then you go back and you try that and you're like, well, this is actually a lot better than I remember it being. Like Captain Boomers with Watch City. Like, it has become one of my favorite blends. It's like an aromatic English blend. And it is insane. And anytime I'm smoking something else and you smoke Captain Boomers, the room note alone makes me want to dump out my pipe and pack it with Captain Boomers. It's so freaking good.
Which is weird, though, because I love Captain Boomers. I'm a mooch. Anytime Nate comes over, I always smoke his tobacco. Even though I have exponentially more than you, I think.
Well.
No, he has good taste in tobacco. He's a lot of these boutique bulk blends that I'm more of a tinned guy. I buy a lot of tinned or mass-produced Sutliff blends and stuff like that. The Captain Boomers, I've loved it lately. Every time you come over, I'm like, let me smoke some Captain Boomers.
I'm almost out.
But then I smoked Captain Boomers earlier today, and I kept telling you, like, I can't even taste anything right now. Like,
but it smelled amazing.
And I don't have the vid. I don't have the Rona, I promise. I can taste Rivendell. I can taste the whiskey. I can taste my water, fizzy water over here. My bougie water. But I couldn't taste the Captain Boomers. So I get what you're saying, how it just changes from time to time.
Yeah.
I love Captain Boomers, but today it just didn't hit the spot.
And sometimes, like, you were smoking it in a new pipe. And sometimes, every once in a while, I'll smoke something in a pipe that I haven't used for a while or haven't used very often, and I wonder if that's having an effect on it. Again, I consider myself to be an incredibly rookie pipe smoker, very novice. So, I mean, people that have been smoking for 30, 40 years, I'm sure know exactly the ins and outs of everything about pipes and how they work and everything. But like, you have some that are they're unfinished on the bowl when you buy them new, and they're like, natural or whatever. And every pipe I've ever bought has the blackening on the inside where they put that finish in there. That's kind of like already like a cake kind of built up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if when that cake is already there, if you still kind of have to smoke it a few times. Like, I know almost every pipe that you buy, you do Carter Hall in a few times.
I do, yeah.
Just to break them in.
And that Lorenzetti, I didn't break that one in, so maybe that was the case. But nonetheless, I think this video has gone long enough, so I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah,
but
probably.
we want to wish you guys a very happy International Pipe Smokers Day. Hope you enjoy many, many bowls for the day, and enjoy it with some friends. Enjoy it however you like, with whatever you like, and absolutely just have a fantastic day.
Yeah.
Because it's a day to celebrate our favorite hobby.
Absolutely.
But thanks, Nate, for joining me.
My first YouTube video. I'm very excited.
Hopefully many more of these to come.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, guys, so much. Have a great International Pipe Smoking Day.